I'm Bailey with Kodiak Manufacturing. We're out here today with a 6-foot heavy-duty cutter. Our heavy-duty line consists of 5, 6, and 7-foot widths and single spindles. They're all constructed with a 7-gauge thick top deck. We've got 4-inch channel that runs from the front to the rear of the cutter for bracing. And then off this 4-inch channel, we run 7-inch channel all the way to the end of the cutter deck. You know, really giving you a nice strong base on the top of your cutter deck. We also have our solid welds, just like on every rotary cutter we build, all the way around the entire cutter deck. A lot of other manufacturers, they stitch weld, so they may have a 2-inch weld here, skip, 2-inch weld here, so on and so forth. The main reason why we do a solid weld is because over time those stitch welded cutters, the top deck starts pulling away from your sides here. And with a nice solid weld all the way around the cutter deck, we keep from that happening. Nice little thing we do, like on this channel, I don't know if you can see it or not, but we run caulking in between your welds here so that we keep water out from under your channel. Keeps it from rust and rust running down your cutter deck, things like that. Nice little extra thing we do. And when you're talking about a rotary cutter, the life of your rotary cutter is your gearbox plate or channel, what your gearbox is bolted to. And on our heavy duty units, we use a 1/2-inch thick gearbox plate. And of course, we have our solid welds on the back, the front, and both sides, all the way around it. And just like with your cutter deck, some manufacturers stitch weld there, and what tends to happen, gearbox plates pull up, you know, they break, do things like that. And if you've ever pulled up a gearbox plate or broke one, you know, your cutter deck's basically done. And we don't ever want anybody to have to buy a new cutter deck. This unit, the heavy duty line, we put 90 horsepower gearboxes, and they come standard with slip clutch and Series 6 drive lines. Lost my chain just then, but and this gearbox also has our 5-year warranty on it, just like all Kodiak rotary cutters. All our rotary cutters come with a flex hitch, so that, you know, if you're backing up a bank or something like that, instead of your cutter staying on the same level as your tractor, the back end of your cutter will actually raise up so that you don't scalp and you maintain a nice clean cut. And all Kodiak rotary cutters are quick hitch and eye match compatible. Now down to our cutter ears. We use a 1/2-inch thick welded on cutter ears. And like you can see, we get our heavy duty units have a clevis hitch. They come with category 2 pins in them, but there is a hole back here to where if you just got a Cat 1 tractor, you can put your Cat 1 pin and run it. You know, you really want a good, you know, your cutter ears are kind of like your base. You want a good, thick, completely welded around cutter ear on a rotary cutter, because that's where you're lifting at. You're lifting your entire cutter basically right there. So always, you know, look for a solid welded cutter ear and something 1/2-inch thick. Every Kodiak rotary cutter is primed before receiving a high quality gloss paint. Alright, our tail wheel assemblies. Now on our 6 and 7 foot in the heavy duty line, it comes standard with dual tail wheels. The 5 foot comes with a single tail wheel. Now we've got a nice tail wheel assembly. We use this 3x3 heavy duty tail wheel tubing assembly, where a lot of manufacturers use a triangular flat bar assembly. And that triangular flat bar assembly tends to bend. It's a lot weaker design. So this tube really works out well. Also with those triangular designs, you know, they're starting out in here, and lots of times on a dual tail wheel model, they actually bolt into your channel here, which is not a good place to bolt at. But anyway, you know, you get a wide triangular tail wheel assembly here and another one over here, so basically you can't hardly back up and cut close to trees or anything like that, because all of this area is took up, and most of your middle, you know, you can't get in there to anything real nice. Nice little thing we have, replaceable skid shoes. So if you wear out a pair of skids, loosen 3 bolts up, take your skids off, put another set on, tighten your bolts back up, and you're good to run back in the field. Now there's some things I want to talk about back here and behind this cutter. Now that we're back here, you can kind of see the framework of this rotary cutter. You've got your angle frame, angle in the front, angle in the back, and then you tie in to your side channel. And we use on our heavy duty models an 8-inch tall heavy duty side channel, 3/16 inch thick. And there's a few reasons why we use this side channel. A lot of manufacturers, they use a folded deck where they just take a piece of a deck, they fold their 2 sides down. When you get into that, when they fold their sides down here, it ends up being a lot weaker on your sides. And hey, it's a rotary cutter, especially in a heavy duty cutter. You're going to beat it around, you're going to hit some trees, things like that. And what tends to happen with those folded decks is guys beat their sides in a little bit and their blades come in contact with their sides, dull your blades out, end up putting a hole in your sides. And we don't want that to happen. Also, with this heavy duty channel, we've got a nice lip right here that the cutter can run on without tearing up your ground, instead of having a straight edge on a folded deck that tears up your ground. And now we'll get to our blade carrier. You know, a lot of people talk about stump jumpers and they think that a stump jumper has to be bent. Well, we do it a little different. Instead of using a light 1/4 inch or something like that pan, we use a 5/8 inch thick blade carrier on our 5 and 6 foot. And then on our 7 foot, we use a 3/4 inch oblong blade carrier. And there's a few reasons why we do this. All of these are plasma cut, so they're 100% precise. Also, you know, you get into something like 5/8 inch thick compared to something around a 1/4 inch thick. Say you're in something real rough, you slip your clutches. This 5/8 inch, the inertia of it's going to keep cutting while your clutches are slipping a whole lot longer than that 1/4 inch. And also there's the main thing of warpage and bending pans. Nobody wants to bend a pan. That's why we go with this beefed up thick pan. And what this angle does here is actually works as what you might call a stump jumper. Basically, if you're going along wherever you're cutting, you hit a stump or something, you're moving forward or whatever, you're going to hit that stump here on this angle. It's going to bounce your cutter up to where it rides right here on top of this blade carrier and then back down. Same way backing up, do the same exact thing. So in essence, you know, you don't need a bent pan. This is actually a lot better design. We've got our optional chain guards, Z-channel chain guards on this cutter, and we do recommend that every rotary cutter is purchased with a set of chains. This 5, 6, and 7 foot units are available in pull type, and for more information or to locate your nearest dealer, please call our sales department at 423-336-2390.